The $60 million fine remains, but the money will stay in Pennsylvania. Gary Sinderson will have more from Penn State straight ahead.
A memorial for a man found dead in a public park in jeopardy of being taken down. What the mother of that man is now saying.
A candlelight vigil happening now for a woman police say was shot and killed by 2 teenage boys. We will take you there. A nightmare. That's what the homeowners of a house in Somerset County saying tonight because they found a dead dog in the basement.
After a close call while fighting a fire in Cambrai County, those firefighters re-encountered that very call in training.
Volunteer firefighters in Blair County charged with calling 911 with fake fire reports. The first of 3 prayer services being held tonight in Johnstown following the reported cover-up of child sex abuse within the Altoona-Johnstown Catholic Diocese. Plus, how a dog was able to help a Clearfield County pastor get out of a burning house.
A bomb squad called to Center County. Where and what happened straight ahead.
6 News. Coverage you can count on. In high definition. Starts with breaking news.
Good evening and thanks for being here. We continue to follow a suspected pipe bomb near Pine Grove Mills in Center County.
Erin Calandra joins us by phone right now because she was moved away from that scene because of the suspected danger. Erin, what can you tell us what's happening now?
Well, Jen, Marty, this has escalated into a very serious situation. Chief Conrad from Ferguson Township Police confirming that a device has been found inside a vehicle parked along Windot Road in Pine Grove Mills. Now, this is what police tell us. They received a phone call around 1:45 today telling them that there is a guest staying in one of these homes, visiting a friend, and that guest has told the homeowners that he has made several pipe bombs and that they are inside his car parked along that street. Police brought in bomb technicians from Penn State University and also from state police, flying them in by helicopter here to Ferguson Township to look at this situation. Police confirming that they have found something. We know they took x-rays of the suspected bomb, and they have confirmed that it is a threat. They pushed us back about a half a mile away from the scene, and they are also going door to door in this neighborhood, evacuating people. They are telling people to stay away for 2 to 3 hours. We're told they are opening the Lions Community Center here along State Route 45. Emergency management is out here from the county. They're opening this building for the public to come and be safe. Now, here is a photo that we have that Penn State Police took earlier today showing the backside of this vehicle as they were searching it. And again, Chief Conrad from Ferguson Township Police confirming they did find a suspected bomb.
They did find a device in the car which they need to render safe. So, yes, there is a safety concern.
Now, again, we are pushed back about a half a mile away because of safety concerns. Police tell me they do have someone detained. Now, this person is not being considered a suspect just yet, and he has not been arrested or charged with anything at this point. Police tell me depending on what they find inside this vehicle, that may change. We're going to be out here all evening. We will have much more on this coming up at 11 o'clock tonight. For now, live in Pine Grove Mills, Erin Calandra, 6 News.
Over many years, as I said, hundreds of children have fallen victim to child predators wrapped in the authority and the faith of those that they serve.
Good afternoon. Pennsylvania Attorney General Kathleen Kane laying out the case against the Altoona-Johnstown Catholic Diocese. Kane saying it was systematic, designed to protect priests and religious leaders who abused children in the diocese for decades. A statewide grand jury report released today contains such graphic descriptions of abuse. We cannot share some of it with you on television, but you can read it for yourself. It is in its entirety on our website, WJACTV.com.
Now, we want to begin our special coverage of that report with this. There is no allegation, not a single one, against any member of the clergy currently serving at any of the diocese's 89 parishes. Kathleen Kane praised the efforts of the current bishop, the Reverend Mark Barczak, for his cooperation with law enforcement in this investigation. There is nothing to suggest that Bishop Barczak had any role in what authorities say was a cover-up of the abuse.
Now, the grand jury report does detail abuse allegations against at least 50 priest and religious leaders. The abuse dates back to the early 1960s. In graphic detail, the grand jury lays out allegations of horrific abuse of children. And in perhaps the most startling revelation, the report details a secret diocesan fund that paid victims a specific amount for certain acts of sexual abuse. The grand jury charges the cover-up of abuse cases was orchestrated by former bishops James Hogan and Joseph Adamet. The report includes this: these men took actions that further endangered children as they placed their desire to avoid public scandal over the well-being of innocent children. Following the release of the grand jury report, the Most Reverend Mark Barchak, the current bishop of the Altoona-Johnstown Diocese, released a statement in which he said, "This is a painful and difficult time in our diocesan church. I deeply regret any harm that has come to children, and I urge the faithful to join me in praying for all victims of abuse." Now, diocesan spokesman Tony DeGaulle just called our newsroom and said the bishop had no advance notice of today's report, and that in fact, when the report was released, the bishop was out of town.
Now, during the announcement today, State Attorney General Kathleen Kane said a hotline is set up for anyone who is a victim of sexual abuse or anyone who may have information in regards to this ongoing investigation. The numbers on your screen, that hotline, 1-888-538-8541. Again, that's 888-538-8541. The Attorney General says that hotline will be answered up until 9 p.m. and that all voicemail messages will be returned. We'll have that number scrolling along the bottom of your screen throughout our newscast tonight.
The entire investigation unveiled today began in Cambria County with allegations of sexual abuse stemming from a Catholic high school in Johnstown.
Kane says the Cambria County District Attorney was concerned that officials from that school, Bishop McCord Catholic High School, as well as the Johnstown Police Department and the diocese failed to report child abuse at the hands of brother Stephen Baker, a former coach and athletic trainer accused of molesting students in the 90s. Maria Miller has been covering that story for years, and she's live with much more.
6 News, 11 at 11. Coverage you can count on. In high definition. Starts with severe weather Team 6 coverage.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. We have been telling you this week that a winter storm shaping up to our west. We know it's headed eastward, and the storm does have the potential to give us a sizable amount of snow. We have team weather coverage tonight. Jillian Hartman is live in Cambria County with how PennDOT and emergency responders are getting ready. But first, Tony Martin is in the Weather Center. Tony, at this point, and we've been saying this a lot, and we want to make sure we're very clear about this, this is still a developing situation, one that bears watching. No guarantees at this point.
Right. It's still 48 hours away from potentially producing the first snowflakes in our area. So still 2 days to watch this storm get out of the plains and work its way toward us. Now, for the time being, we have winter storm watches posted for parts of the area, Somerset and Bedford counties. That is where a decent chance of having 6 inches of snow is right now. It's a possibility. Better than 50-50 odds, and that's where the National Weather Service has posted a winter storm watch, again, throughout Somerset and Bedford counties from late Friday night into the late hours of Saturday night, early Sunday morning. We're going to be on the northwestern fringes of this storm, so a slight jog, we're talking 50 miles bird flight, will make a huge difference in snowfall totals in our area. So that's why we're still looking at a few different scenarios here, one of which this storm riding up the eastern seaboard up to about New Jersey and then cutting out the sea, which would give us a significant snowfall. However, still very possible that this storm is a little flatter and it heads off the coast off of Virginia rather than New Jersey, which would spare us snowfall. A lot of us would see barely anything. So still a lot of time to watch this. In front of us tonight, we're still dealing with some light to moderate snow across portions of the area. Roads are slick from this clipper system moving through. This winds down at daybreak. When I come back, we're going to talk more about that potential snowfall heading into the weekend. Marty?
Tony, thanks. The key word tonight is preparation. Emergency services and PennDOT getting ready for any storm. And we're heading outside now to Jillian Hartman, who says they are keeping a close eye on the forecast. Jillian, what are they doing to prepare?
That's right, Marty. With it being the calm before the storm, both PennDOT and emergency responders are preparing, and they're reminding you to be ready too. As PennDOT plows are parked right now, it's what's going on behind the scenes to prepare for what could be a high-impact snowstorm.
Forecasts have been changing over the last few days, so we will be monitoring it closely. We will have full crews out once the weather hits.
No weather event catches us off guard unless it's a pop-up storm. This is not a pop-up storm. This we have several days advance notice.
Right now, emergency services and PennDOT say they are watching the storm hour by hour. As the storm inches closer, they'll adjust their plans as needed, but that doesn't mean you should wait around.
People should not be running to the grocery stores in mobs. People should just take their time, be prepared.
With time on our side, you are encouraged to get what you need now to avoid driving in these winter conditions. PennDOT tells us safety reminders for drivers who are heading out in the snow.
If somebody is out traveling, they do need to keep in mind that the roads will not be bare while the snow is falling. If they do encounter a plow truck, the safest place to be is behind that truck.
With visibility being minimized while plowing, PennDOT says it's best for drivers to keep a safe distance and not to try to pass plow trucks on the road. Now, if you have plans to venture out this weekend, PennDOT says a helpful tool drivers can use before traveling is the website 511pa.com to track PennDOT plows on the roadways, or call 511 to get weather conditions. Reporting live in Cambria County, Jillian Hartman, 6 News.
Penn State getting back 112 football wins that were taken away 2 years ago during the Jerry Sandusky child sex abuse scandal. A deal with the NCAA restores former head coach Joe Paterno's status as the winningest coach in college football, but that's not all. The settlement also keeps the $60 million in penalties intact.
It's all a result of an agreement announced today that settled a lawsuit against the NCAA. And for Penn State, it's a sense of victory, although the biggest issue here is the millions of dollars that will stay in Pennsylvania for child abuse prevention programs. The one reporter who's done more work on this story than anyone else is our Gary Sinderson. He continues our coverage from Penn State. He's live outside Beaver Stadium. Gary?
Starts with breaking news.
A charter bus that was taking the Portage football team to a game against Berlin caught fire. Somerset County 911 says it happened along the Berlin Plank Road. Everyone on the bus, though, is okay. Portage head coach Gary Gauss says a tire blew. When they went to check it, it burst into flames. State police able to put the fire out. Some of the team's equipment had some smoke damage, but it should be usable tonight. Berlin sent a bus to pick up the team. Players and coaches are at the school. Everyone okay. The Berlin coach tells us the game's still likely to start a half hour later at 7:30, and the winner of tonight's game wins the Westpac Championship.
We begin team coverage on this tonight. Lauren Hensley is in Ridgeway as people are working to help the victims, but we start in St. Mary's. That's where Bridget McClure is, and she talked with friends who knew the 15-year-old who died. Bridget?
Jen, I met the best friend of the 15-year-old boy today who tells me he didn't even go to school after receiving a text at 4 a.m. that he couldn't believe. Friends of the 15-year-old boy tell me school wasn't the same today with their friend missing. It was quiet and off. They say he was known for being part of the band and very talented at playing the piano. St. Mary says they will be offering grief counseling, classroom debriefings, and support for as long as it takes the students to heal from their loss. The victim's friends say they are still in shock and will be using each other to get through this hard time.
It's definitely not going to be the same. Like, it's somebody I see every day. I talk to him every day, and he's a very big part of my friend group, so I don't even know how I'm going to begin to cope with that.
Currently just using friendship to get through everything. Eventually with time it'll slow down, but just have each other's backs.
The friends tell me they're going to make sure a memorial service is held to honor the loss of their friend. They say band practice won't be the same without him.
Well, this story is impacting so many communities in Elk County. One town stepping up to help the family members who survived the fire. And Lauren Hensley is live in Ridgeway with that part of the story. Lauren?
Yeah, Jen, the sadness you heard in St. Mary's, it's being echoed here tonight in Ridgeway. Though investigators have not released the names of those victims, we learned from community members that one of the victims was from right here in Ridgeway, and that's why one local business is stepping up to help one of their own.